Hello, welcome. It's Alfred again, and we're going to do the final Word chapter now of our ebook, the Microsoft Word Chapter 5, all about mail merge. So I'm going to go ahead and do the normal pattern of opening up our book by going to the internet. I'm going to open Google Chrome. Going to go to our book website, which is bookshelf.vitalsource.com. As a reminder, it's already in there. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have it correctly, press my enter key. I'm going to sign in, use the sign-ins that we've given you. If you're asked about cookies, you can just click save, whatever you feel most comfortable doing. I'm going to choose my proper email, put in my password. See after it logs in, choose the correct book, Office 2019. See if my table of contents is open or not, but I want to get to Microsoft Word Chapter 5. I'm here at Chapter 4, so I'm going to click my table of contents on the left. Microsoft Word is our topic. Chapter 5, using mail merge, our last one. Go here quickly to the chapter opener. Give a little read before we actually start to do things. I'm going to close my table of contents. So in this chapter, it's all about mail merge, which is a feature to turn boilerplate letters into personalized correspondence. So in other words, it's for mass mailing. If you want to send the same letter out or, same letter or type of correspondence to hundreds of people, but just have them addressed differently, that's what mail merge is all about. And it's basically speaking, you're going to learn about these learning objectives here. You're going to build what's called a data source. So it's feeding data, which is usually the mailing address, the person's name, things of that nature, and inserting that into the letter. So it ends out combining two documents into a third document. So one of the documents is called a data source, which can be an Excel file, or it can be done in Word or even an Access database. Main document can be a letter. It could just be even a flyer if you want to customize a flyer, but that'd be a little less useful. But it's mainly things like letters, like those credit card letters and stuff you get. You'll learn how to perform the mail merge, deal with any merge problems, and generate envelopes and labels. So that's what this chapter is about. I'm going to scroll down and get into the chapter a little bit, and I'm going to, in a moment, move my window over to the normal side over here. As a reminder, in a Windows machine, if you pull it off the right or left side, it automatically snaps. I'll make it around this big. As a reminder, if I click this A, I can make my font a little larger, make it a little easier to read. Great. So introducing mail merge. Mail merge is most often used for generating personalized documents such as word letters, mailing labels, and envelopes. But mail merge is a versatile tool that can be used with any type of document that combines boilerplate text with variable information, such as emails, standard contracts, legal verbiage. You could even do certificates in it. So me, for example, I could do certificates for my class with it if I just need the names to change in it. There's a couple of components of a mail merge. Merging creates a document that combines information from two files. So that's the important thing there. Two files come together to make one. They're known as the main document and a data source. The main document controls the merge. It's a Word document that contains the fixed information, which means the information that doesn't change, okay? And merge codes, which the variable information is merged. So that variable information is in the data source. A typical form letter, for instance, has a different inside address and greeting line in each letter, while the rest of the text is the same for everybody receiving the letter. So the main document is the bulk of that wording that doesn't change for anybody. The data source can be another Word document, a spreadsheet, or a database file, or a contact list in Outlook. The data source contains field names that correspond with the merge codes in the main document. The merge document is the final result of the actual merge. It is basically multiple copies of your letter, with each copy replacing the merge codes with the different recipient's name and information. You can merge an existing main document with an existing data source, or you can create the main document and data source while stepping through the merge process. So they're showing us an example of a finished project here. This is what a data source looks like. It kind of looks like a table. Here's a letter. And in the letter where these gray things are kind of highlighted, those are called fields, which means it's grabbing information from this data source. Here they're showing you the final result, and that's basically how it's going to work. So the benefits of mail merge, it just saves tons of time. So I'm not going to read that. You can read that a little more on your own. Then it talks here about the mailings tab. The mailings tab is a tab we haven't been on yet, but it's all about performing the mail merge sequence. Okay. So essentially speaking, you do start mail merge to start it. You do select recipient second. If need be, you edit the recipient list. And then third, you start to bring in all the fields and everything. So it's a pretty cool thing here. Now I'm going to go to this arrow here to get down to the actual start now. Okay, so working with the data source. Data sources typically contain names, addresses, telephone numbers, and other contact information, but you can include any information you want in the data source. So you can make your own fields, we call it. Okay, you can create a data source in Word, Excel, Access, lots of different places. In your case right now, if you haven't really ever done Excel and it's not already typed in Excel, then just do it from Word. I'm going to go here to Develop Your Skills W5D1. In this exercise, we're going to start the mail merge group on the ribbon to specify the letter as your main document. Then we're going to customize the data source columns and enter some data in. So step number 1 says open W5D1 exercise letter from Word chapter 5. So I'm going to first of all get Word open. So I'm going to click start. I'm going to scroll on down to Word. Click it. I could have done a search as well. Move my window a little so I can at least see it. I'm going to do open. I'm going to click Browse, and I'm going to make my way in. As a reminder, from the Documents folder, your folder may already be there. For me, I have to go into a couple of folders first, then I get to my Alfred's Office folder. At this point, we should be nearly the same when you find your Office folder. And I'm going to go into Word still. This time we're in the final chapter, chapter 5. Hooray! And we're opening up W5D1 exercise letter. Now that it's open, I'm going to slide it off the side so it snaps next to my window here. I'll zoom in slightly just to see. It looks like I can fit it a little better. Great. Now you could probably see that a little better. Okay. And it says in step number 1 to also do a save as and add the word revised to the end of the existing file name. So as a reminder, that's file. My version, save a copy. Your version's probably save as. I can click up here where the file name is, or you can click Browse and do it where the file name is, and I just add the word revised. I can click Save here. Now I'm on step number 2. So this looks like a regular Word document that's already been typed in. Everybody could agree. You could pretty much, through the chapters we've done, you know how to do this. You know how to bring in a picture. You know how to kind of wrap it. Well, this is all one picture, so the wording is with it. But you know how to center a line, you know how to bring in a table. So you could have set this up. They're just saving you the time. At this point in time, this is a regular Word file. Now we're going to coin this as what's called a main document. So step 2 here is the vital step. Choose Mailings, Start Mail Merge Group, Start Mail Merge, and choose Letters. So it's the Mailings tab. Start Mail Merge Group if you have it. Click Start Mail Merge, and I say that if you're on a Mac. And they just have to click Letters. That's all I need to do. Now this particular file is special. It thinks it's now a data source. I'm sorry, not a data source, a main document. And being a main document, it needs to be connected to some data source to get that other information to feed in. So I'm going to go ahead and do step 3. Choose Mailings, Start Mail Merge, select Recipients. So that's Mailings, Start Mail Merge, select Recipients. And we're going to do step 3, type a new list. And you'll notice it already has what we call fields, and they like to call them column headings, so it feels like you're filling in a table. We don't have to use all these, so let's see what the book wants us to do. Step 4, click Customize Columns. So that means we're going to choose our own fields here. These are the ones they propose. They're normal, they're typical, but doesn't mean we have to use them all. Step 5 says click Company Name, and then click Delete, and click Yes. It's giving you a warning in case you already had data in here, which we don't. Step 6 is we're going to delete a bunch more following the same steps. We're going to delete address line 2, click it, click delete, click yes. We're going to delete country or region, so click country or region, click delete, click yes. We're going to delete home phone, click home phone, delete, yes. And the last 2, work phone, delete, yes, email, delete, yes. Step 7 now says follow these steps to add a field. So it says in step 7a, click Add. Step B says type your doctor. Whoops. And then it says click OK. You'll notice it landed underneath zip code, which is okay. You can actually move them in a different order if you need to by doing these things, move up, move down. Okay. Now we're going to actually enter in some of the data here in just a moment. So it said in step B, type your doctor, click OK. Now when you click the final OK, we can now insert data in here. And if you have space, you won't have to scroll. See how you can scroll here to see data? If you have space, you can actually make this wide enough to see it all. I don't know if you're going to have space on your window or not. So I'm going to keep it a little smaller just so you'll understand it may work similar to yours. Just think of this like a table. It's going to move easiest if you press tab. And that's what they're going to have us do with step 8A. It says in the title field, type Mr., period. Step B says press tab. And then I'm on step number 9. Says type Talos, press tab. And then it says in step 10, finish entering the Talos Boros data shown, pressing tab between fields. The list of fields will scroll as you tab and type. So I'm going to put in his last name, tab. Now I'm going to put in his address. This is 854 Whitmore Drive. Now here's where you have to be careful. That's only the street, so that's the address. Now I'm going to press tab to go to the city, San Diego, tab, California, tab, I want to put in the zip. I'm going to press tab, and I'm going to type Dr. Gonzalez. Whoops. Now you'll notice when I press tab after this first person, it makes a second person for me. So I can type Ms. Nicole Romero, 32. So I'm just typing in, as you can see, let me see. Once again, tab after the doctor name, and it gets me to a new one. Now this one I have to be a little more careful about because is it skipping something? Oh, no, it's not. It's just that the other people's fit a little more. Mr. Tab, Michael. Okay, let me continue my fast blazing speed typing here for you. Okay. Now don't press tab after the last person. You don't actually have to do that or you're going to have a blank record. It says when you complete the first record, click new entry or press tab to generate a new row for the next record, then enter the 2 remaining records. So that's step 11. If you accidentally press tab after the last record, just click delete entry to remove the blank row. I'm going to give you a little tip here. I've noticed some students, if they don't press tab or do something else right now, sometimes this third record won't be saved. So just click back in a different record, and that's kind of telling Microsoft Word, yes, this record with Dr. Kelly and Michael Chapery will be saved correctly. Step 12 says leave this list open here, and we're going to quickly review the records. It's a good idea to review your records for accuracy before saving the data source. However, if you miss an error, you can easily edit it later. So develop your skills W5D2. In this exercise, we're going to examine records for accuracy and save your data source. Position the mouse pointer on the scroll bar at the bottom of the dialog box and drag to the right and left to view all the fields. So if I go back to the left, come back to the right. Okay. Step 2A says position the insertion point here and use the arrow keys to move through the entry. So if I click here where it says 854, and if you do an extra click, you can actually get a way to edit. Okay. Or if you just click once and then do the arrow key, it still does it as well. Okay. Just when it's highlighted, it jumps a little different. Step B says position the mouse pointer here and drag the right to display the entire entry. So since the address is cut off a little, I point between the address and city and I see what's called an adjust or a sizing arrow, and I drag it to the right a little, and now I see the whole thing. It says review your entry and correct any typos, then click OK. So when we click OK down here, we now need to save this. It's asking us to save it. Now here's where you have to be really careful. Right now it saves into a particular spot on the computer hard drive, not your Word Chapter 5 folder. So you're going to want to get into your Word Chapter 5 folder. So for most of us, we start with Documents and then start to make our way in. I go into my Office folder now, Word Chapter 5. And now I'm going to put in the name that they want to call it, which is W5-D2-exercise letter data. And I would highly recommend you do what they're doing in terms of naming. When you put the word data after the file like that, it's reminding you that this is that data source, that second file that connects to the main document, which is the letter behind us. So I'm going to go ahead, and that was step 4. Obviously, you have to click Save here. Now, if that document feels like it's closed, but Word knows it's connected. So they're going to get to that right now about how you can edit it if you had to, which means add somebody in, fix a mistake you might have noticed. That's called managing the address list or editing the recipient list. So the Mail Merge Recipients dialog box lets you sort and filter address lists, choose records to include in the mail merge, and edit the data source. If you use a Word table, Excel spreadsheet, or other file for your data source, you can edit directly in the data source itself. So we're going to do develop your skills W5D3. Use an existing list. Well, we can still follow the steps. Use an existing list. We get to our Word Chapter 5. It's just kind of redundant because it's already connected. So I go to my Office folder, Word Chapter 5, and it's the exercise letter data. You'll see there's no conflict. You cannot connect two data sources at the same time. Step 3, we should have been able just to go to step 3. I don't know why they put us through all that. Step 3, choose mailings, start mail merge, edit recipient list. Now we see the 3 people we typed in. Don't get concerned of this weird wording here, the checkboxes here, and don't get concerned over the fact it moved the title field. It knows what it's doing. It just realizes that's not a typical field you might want to sort by, and it's not so important to your data. Your data really starts here. So they just wanted you to see that. Step 4 says, follow these steps to sort and filter the list and open the Edit Source dialog box. Step 4A says, click where it says last name. And you're now sorted alphabetically by last name. Just by clicking last name, it did that. See how it's B, C, and R? Chowdhury was the last person we typed in. Step B, click the drop-down arrow and choose Chowdhury. So we're going to click this drop-down arrow here, and we're just going to click Chowdhury. So anybody with the last name Chowdhury would be the only people showing right now. Step B also says click the arrow again, and now choose All to bring everybody back. Step C says click the data source to activate the Edit button. So see how this Edit button doesn't work? That means we have to click the name of the data source. Now we can click Edit. This is where if we wanted to make changes here, we would have to click Edit. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to click Edit. So you can now actually make changes in here. Step 5 says follow these steps to edit a record. We're going to click the 900 C Street address, and we're going to type, according to step 5, the new address, 146 Meadow Lane. Whoops, I don't want that typo. And then step 6 says, follow these guidelines to enter 3 records in the following illustration. So click the new entry button or tab to the end of the row for each new record. Okay, so I'm going to click new entry, and I'm going to add in the 3 people down here. Okay, so once again, I'm in the first box, I type Ms., then I can tab. For that record, I can do tab again as a reminder to get the new one. The most important thing you have to do is tab correctly. Really separate the data that needs to be separated. And I'm on my final record here. And as a reminder, when you get to that last record, just click in one of the other records to make sure that one gets saved correctly. It says review your entries for accuracy. So if I had to fix any of the other people, I could go back and fix them now. If I had a typo that I noticed, things of that nature. Remember, you can widen the column if you want to see more, all that kind of stuff. Just click OK. Now, because the list is changed, it's asking if we want to save our changes. So we better save our changes. That's step number 8. Click yes. And step number 9 says click OK to close this mail merge data source box. I'm going to move into the next portion of the chapter now by going to the down arrow. And as the book loads here, we're going to now work with the main document. So now that we've created the data source, this is our main document where they're connected. We want to bring in that information from the data source into here. So you accomplish the merge by combining a main document with a data source, by bringing in what are called merge fields, things like title, first name, last name, the doctor name, whatever. And they're going to look like kind of grayish highlighted boxes. And they're going to have funny little characters next to them showing you it's a field. Okay. Here's an example. The title field would look like this with those funny characters. But when it shows or previews and when it actually appears on the merged document, it will look like the actual information that's in the data source. Just know if any information is missing in the data source, sometimes it will put a blank space in here. So we're on Develop Your Skills, W5D4. It says, if necessary, choose home paragraph, show hide to display formatting marks. Well, I seem to have left them on. It says, select today's date and press delete. And it says choose insert, text, date, and time. So that's insert, text group if you have group names, date and time should be this icon here. And step 4, choose the third date format and check update automatically. That means whatever day you open this file, it automatically uses the current date. That's what it says underneath step 4. I'm going to click OK. And it says press enter 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, step number 6, choose mailings, write and insert fields. So I'm going back to the mailings tab. In the write and insert fields group, I'm going to click address block. Now it's giving you a preview of what the address block looks like using this format. What's happening is this has the title. It also has a suffix if people have suffix, but none of our people do. Step 7 says follow these steps to insert an address block code. Choose different formats and view the preview. So if I just choose this, see how it uses just their first name, very informal, first and last name with no title. And then step A says, and then view the preview on the right, then choose Mr. Joshua Randall Jr. So I'm going to go back to the one it started on. And then step B says click OK. This is normal. This code looking thing here called address block. That's exactly what you want to see. Step number 8 says press enter 2 times. Step number 9, choose mailings, write and insert fields, greeting line. So that's mailings tab, write and insert fields, greeting line. And here I'm going to go to step 10A. Note this option to change this option to a colon. So here where it wants to use a comma, I'm going to click here and I'm going to choose the colon. And it says note the generic greeting that will be used for data records if they're missing names. So this is what it's going to use if for some reason you don't have data in the field. You don't have a first name or a last name. Step C says choose Joshua from this list. So instead of Mr. Randall, we're going to just choose Joshua. little more informal, but that's okay. And step C says click OK as well. Then it says in step 11, press enter twice. 1, 2. Step number 12, follow these steps to insert the first name code into the letter. Step 12A, if necessary, position the insertion point to the left of welcome. So I'm blinking next to the left of welcome. Step B says click the insert merge field button. So that's once again mailings, write in insert fields, insert merge field. They want you to click the drop down arrow. Okay. And then choose first name. It says in step 13, type a comma and press your space bar and delete the W. This is all part of step 13 to make it a lowercase w because it's not starting the sentence any longer. Step 14 says position the insertion point to the left of wants as shown. So it's in this and wants to the left of wants. Choose mailings, write in insert fields, insert merge field menu button again. So that's mailings, write in insert fields, insert merge field menu button. Once again, I'm going to now choose the field I need, which is your doctor. And it says choose your doctor and then press the space bar. Step number 16, take time to review your letter, making sure the merge fields match this example. So we have your doctor, greeting line, address block, and first name. Yeah, looks good to me. So the book hasn't shown you this, but on the mailings tab, there is an option to highlight your merge fields here in the write and insert fields groups. That's what made the ones in the book show that kind of color. It doesn't print this way, but it's useful for you to see them easier. So if you want to toggle that on or off, that's your choice. I think they show it to you later, but if they don't, they don't. Step 17 says choose home paragraph show hide to turn off our formatting marks. Okay, so we got our letter going in here. This is freshness. I'm going to go on to the next part of the book. We're actually going to conduct the merge now. Now, technically speaking, these things are connected, but we haven't made the final merged document. Merging combines that main document with the data source. If you're merging a form letter with a data source, Word produces a personalized copy of the form letter for each record in the data source. So in other words, we have, I think, 6 people. That means that if we do the final merge document, we'll have 6-page letter. Not 6-page letter. We'll have 6 individual pages, one with each recipient with a copy of this letter. It's always a good idea to preview the merge results before you complete the merge. And when you're going to complete the merge, which is the finish and merge button, it's usually best to edit the individual documents. If you just do print, it starts spitting out. So you might have a second chance to catch any mistakes. And you have the option of saving the final merge document if you think you want to send it to somebody else and that kind of thing. That's where they're talking here to save or not to save. Merge documents are rarely saved because they can easily be reconstructed by merging the main document with the data source. Since these two things are connected, you can click finish and merge whenever you want. It's really quick and easy. But you can certainly save the merge document if you wish to have a record of it. The other advantage is you could send it to somebody else who might need it. It's hard to send a main document in a data source and have people connect it later. So now we're on Develop Your Skills W5, D5. If necessary, switch to the Mailings tab. So I'll click the Mailings tab. Follow these steps to preview the merge. Step 2A says click Preview Results. It's here in the it's in the Preview Results group, Preview Results. Now it shows you the information coming from the actual real data source. Okay. And step B says use the navigation buttons to scroll through all your merged people. So see, this arrow goes to the next record. Now I'm on record 2. I can look at it. Record 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I want to go back to the very beginning, I can use this one, first record. And I can go to the last record. And you can even use find recipient if you had to find somebody you were concerned about. Okay. Step number 3, choose mailings, finish and merge, edit individual documents. So mailings, finish and merge, edit individual documents. A couple of options. You can choose every record, only the current person you're looking at, so this person only, or a certain range. Maybe you only need people 3 to 6 because you've already done the others. But in this case, the book says click OK to do everybody. Now it creates a separate document here. See, I have two different documents. It's nice that mine open this way, but I'll now stack it on top. Step 5 says scroll through the letters and scan their contents. So here's person 1 and their whole letter, person 2 and their whole letter, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Step 6 says close the merge document without saving. So I can actually go up to this X here because there's a document behind me. Choose don't save. Step 7, choose mailings, preview results again to turn this off. That can be confusing to you. It's really important though to have these fields showing so it reminds you when you work on this file, this is a main document. You only get these weird codes in here in the main document. Okay. And in fact, if the book hasn't told us yet, but if I were in your shoes, sometimes before I even finish and merge, I would save this sometimes before I do that. So working with any merge problem, several common errors can cause a merge to produce incorrect results. The merge document or preview will usually provide clues as to why a merge fails to produce the intended results. Once you identify an error in the merge document, such as leaving out a comma or space before or after a merge field, you can then conduct the merge again to determine whether the error was fixed. Repeat this process until the merge works as intended. So they're trying to show you here a couple of common problems and their solutions. The same error appears in every merge letter. The problem's in the main document. Correct the error and perform the merge. Some letters are missing data. Some records in the data source are missing data. Add data to perform the merge again. Some letters have incorrect data. Some records in the data source are incorrect. Correct the errors. In other words, one way to look at it right now is because I have my highlight merge fields on. If the problem is in the gray, this darkish gray, it's in my data source. If the problem's in the regular typing area here, it's here. So I can just fix it here. Okay. So they're going to show us how to get back, I think, to edit the data source if you need to. In this exercise, you'll examine your document for merge problems. This exercise does not address all possible merge problems, but does, however, address one specific error that you'll make intentionally. You'll insert a colon after the greeting line code. Position the insertion point after greeting line and type a colon. So I'm going to click here, and we're going to add our own colon in. You'll see it's not in the gray, so that means it's on the main document here. Step 2 says choose mailings, finish and merge, edit individual documents. So mailings, finish and merge, edit individual documents. Leave it on all, it says, in step 3 and click OK. I'm not going to move my window, but if I scroll down a little bit, see there's 2 colons here. Step 4 says to browse through. Notice there's 2 colons on everybody. Okay, so that's obviously a problem. Okay, step 5, locate any other errors and notice how often the errors occur in every merged letter or just once. So if it's once, it's in the data source. If it's twice or multiple times, it's in the main document. That's what they're trying to tell you. Step 6 says close the merge document without saving. So I can close this one, don't save. Step 7 says follow these guidelines if you find a data error in just one letter. They don't have us do that. They also, for some reason, didn't have us fix the colon yet, did they? Fix any errors. So we know that this is an error having that extra colon. Let's take it off. It's built into the greeting line. What they're saying is if you found a problem that's in one of these gray kind of fields, you would do mailings, start mail merge, edit recipient list. So you'd go here, mailings, edit recipient list. You'd have to click the name of the database here. You would click edit, and you could fix anything in here that needed fixing if you noticed anything. Okay? You just get a cursor and fix your edit. When you click OK, you have to say yes to update, and then you click OK again, and then you could perform your final merge and finish and merge if you need to. Okay? So when you've corrected any errors, execute the merge again, close the merge document without saving it, then save and close this letter. So I can do save, I can do file close, and we're all set there. Now I'm going on to the next portion of the letter where we're going to do envelopes and labels. This goes relatively quickly because the data source is basically already made. It's just a matter of choosing a type of main document. So when you begin a mail merge, you're presented with options for the type of main document you can create. In addition to form letters, you can also do envelopes, labels, and other types of documents. Just think of a document as anything that's typed is considered a document. It doesn't have to be something very specific. Okay? Like I mentioned, it could even be a certificate, stuff like that. Okay, generating envelopes with the mail merge. Mail merge lets you choose the envelope size and formats. The standard business size 10 envelope is the default. Check your printer manual for instructions on loading envelopes. So I can't tell you how you'll load on your printer at home, whether it's face up, face down, whatever it may be. You have to figure all that out. But automatically they have envelope sizes with the proper dimensions. We're going to do W5 D7. The new exercise here says start a new blank document. So I just go to File, New, Blank. Step 2, mailings, start mail merge envelopes. So mailings, start mail merge, envelopes. Now it brings up the dialog box for me to choose the size. Step 3 says, in the envelope options dialog box, if necessary, choose size 10. So make sure this is size 10, which it is. Then click OK. So see how it formatted my paper as the shape of an envelope now? Isn't that really awesome? Step 4 says choose mailings, start mail merge. Oh, yeah, select recipients, use existing list. So that's mailings, start mail merge, select recipients, use existing list. Now it's not looking in your Word Chapter 5 folder, so we have to get it there. Fortunately for me, the Windows machine starts to remember where you are on the left, so I can click Word Chapter 5. And I can go ahead and open the exercise letter data again, W5 D2 exercise letter data. I can click once and click open, or I can double click. Now the two things are connected. The main document and the data source are connected, okay? I'm going to go down here to arrange the envelope, which means where do you put the different fields? Develop your skills W5 D8. If necessary, display formatting marks and type the return address. So I'm going to choose home, paragraph, show hide. The return address is in the upper left corner, so I'm just going to type this right now. This is the same address that's going to go on every single envelope. So in other words, in your main document, it's the non-variable or non-changing data. They love to put these two spaces between the state and the city, state, and zip because it makes it easier for the postal worker to read. Step 3 says position the insertion point next to the paragraph symbol towards the center of the envelope. That's why they had you turn on the show hide, because it's easier to find that spot to click. Step 4 says choose mailings, write and insert fields, address block. So mailings tab, write and insert merge fields, address block. And step number 5 says click OK to accept the default. So we just click OK. So we got the field in now, okay? Step number 6 says choose mailings, preview results. There we go. We have Talos. I'm on record 1. There's Talos. Hooray! Freshness. Okay. Step number 7, use the navigation buttons to preview the results. So once again, it's the same data source. Okay. Not cool? Okay. Step number 8 says choose mailings, finish and merge, edit individual documents, and then click OK. So that's mailings, finish group, finish and merge, edit individual documents, leave it on all, click OK. I'm going to slide my window over. You'll see that I now have 1 envelope, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, just like before. Isn't that really cool? Step number 9, turn off formatting marks and then scroll through the envelopes. I've already scrolled. Step 10, if necessary, fix any problems with the mail merge and merge the envelopes again. Close the merge document without saving it. So look for any errors here if you see any huge errors. For example, you might not like the extra space here. That means you close this, don't save it, you fix it on the main document because that's a main document issue right there because we typed in the return address. then you just remerge, okay? And it says we're going to close this finally merged one without saving it. This is step 11, so don't get scared here. Choose don't save. This one that has the fields, so this is important, step 12. Choose mailings, preview results to turn off. Because we know that this has the field in here, this is the most important document outside of the data source it's connected to. So we better save this one. It says save the main document envelope in your Word Chapter 5 folder. So I'm going to do File, Save. I'm going to go to this PC, Browse. Actually, Browse is better. Go here, 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 Word, Chapter 5. And they want us to call it W5-D8-exercise letter M. And that's a pretty good technique for naming things, is to name things based upon what they are. Exercise letter envelope, exercise letter labels, for example. Exercise letter data makes it really clear what connects to what, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Okay. And then close it. So File, Close. That's all part of step 13. Okay. Generating labels with mail merge. You can use mail merge to generate mailing labels for each record in a data source. Mail merge lets you choose the label format, sheet size, and other specifications. It also lets you insert an address block code and other codes in the main document. Like other main documents, a label main document can be saved for later use. So in this exercise, we're going to set up a labels main document and merge it with the data source used in the previous exercises. So that one data source is getting a lot of use to different main documents. So it's one data source to many main documents, okay? So step number one here on develop your skills, W5D9, get a new blank document. So that's File, New, Control N, whatever you like. Set the zoom back to 100%. I don't really have to because I can see everything. I am going to move my picture maybe down here because the label data is going to show there in a minute or two. Step number 2, choose mailings, start mail merge labels. So that's mailings, start mail merge, this time labels. Now we need to pick what kind of label it is, and this is a little bit tricky. Step 3 says follow these steps to choose a printer option and label. So essentially speaking, your printer option, if you know your printer, you can choose that option here. So A says choose default tray. It should already be on it. Step B says change here the Microsoft dropdown to Avery US letter. That's Avery US letter. And we're going to choose the 5160 address labels. I'll give you a hint that with your scroll box here, it'll get you down there faster. It's not a logical list to look at. Scroll approximately halfway down, just above halfway, I think. Trying to remember roughly. Right around here, and then I got to scroll a little more manually for the 5160. Those are the 15s. Now I'm in the 51. They can be hard to find. Around, here we go. Had to go down further. Yeah, it's about halfway down. Those are the 3000s. There we go. 5196. Now I'm really close. 5160. I wish they had a way to just type it in to search. That shows you how many actually pre-made labels exist out there. So I leave it on 5160 address labels and I click OK. What it basically does is it brings in a pre-made table with all the proper settings for you. I have my line showing here because it's a table. Remember table layout? You can view grid lines. See, when it's off, you don't really know what happened. But when it's on, now you know what happened. Okay, so reminder, that was table layout, table group, view grid lines. Step number 4 says choose mailings, start mail merge, select recipients, use existing list. So mailings, start mail merge, select recipients, use an existing list. I can click Word Chapter 5 on the left. If you don't have it there, you got to do documents or whatever way you can get yourself back in and do your W5D2 exercise letter data. Don't worry about this next record here. It needs to be there. Don't panic about that. Okay. Step 6 says make sure the insertion point is next to the paragraph symbol in the first label. So that assumes that we still have the show hide on, which I don't. So I'll go to home. There's my show hide. That was in the paragraph group. Step number 7, choose mailings, write and insert fields, address block. So for the third time, mailings, write and insert fields, address block. And part of step 7 says just click OK. So once again, here's our code, our field. Okay? Step number 8, this is the magical step. We need this address block to be in every single one of these boxes. So we're going to do step 8. Choose mailings, write and insert fields, update labels. So mailings, write and insert fields, update labels. See how it puts it in automatically? So fresh. Oh man, that's awesome. Step number 9, select the table. So what you don't notice, and this is what I think the book should have done first, is to have you preview it before you do the step they're about to do. Because if you click preview results, you'll see the spacing is too big. See how there's too much spacing between each area here? Because it's using spacing after. So I previewed my results first. Remember from the mailings ribbon, preview results. So I did step 10, but I'm now going to go back to step 9. It says select the table. So remember, you can click the 4-headed arrow to select the entire table. We did that in chapter 2 a long time ago. And choose layout, paragraph, and then enter 0 in the before field. So that's the layout tab, paragraph group, this before field, just click in there and type 0 and press enter. That was the before field, and press enter. So they didn't want us to take the spacing after off. Normally you might do that, but in this particular case, they didn't want to. That just gets it a little closer to the top line. Okay. So I've already done step 10 to preview the results. You see everybody here. Step 11 says turn off the preview. So that's mailings, preview results, preview results. Step 12 to conduct the merge is mailings, tab, finish group, finish and merge, edit individual documents. Leave it on all and click OK. And you'll see in this case, it just requires one sheet of paper because we don't have that many recipients. But each one of these would be a label that you would load into your printer, and you would have to go ahead and print it on the special paper. Okay, so I did step 12. I did 13 by clicking OK. Step 14, close our merged document, but don't save it. And then save this labels main document. So remember, whenever you hear the word main document, it always has these fields in it. Really important, these merge codes. They're really, really vital. And we're going to name it W5D9 merge labels. So that's file, save. I can do Word chapter 5 over here. And I can put the file name in, W5D9 merge labels. And I'm in my Word chapter 5 because I clicked it. I can click save here. And it says close the document and then exit Word. So I can just do the X up here to close everything out altogether. So that's the end of this mail merge chapter. It's kind of a lot of things to remember, but when you get used to the practice, you'll get a good shape with it. So I clicked my down arrow. Reminder, there's the little quiz here if you ever want to take it. Then I can click this down arrow here, and you can get to those review exercises to reinforce your skills. There's 3 of them. They'll have you make a data source. They'll have you make some letters, labels, and envelopes. And then you get down, finally enough, I know it looks like a lot, but you go to the next arrow, you get the apply your skills. So as a reminder, I'm hoping very much that you'll get good practice and do as many of those reinforced skills and apply your skills. And if you're involved with doing the Canvas course, we'll try to upload them from Canvas so that I can take a look at them. So I appreciate you doing all your work, and we have wrapped up Word. So our next tutorial coming up is going to be in Excel. Hopefully we'll see you there. Enjoy. Hope this helps.